You feel like
Sureños run California. Sureños run
Cali. On that.
Sureños run Cali. Sureños run Cali. Straight up.
Including Northern Cali.
Sureños run Cali.
Oh.
Cali means Cali, bro.
Yeah.
Down here, there's 0 of them, and up there, there's a majority of us. You get what I mean? They automatically lose. Where the hoods out here? Never to be seen or even created, right? So they automatically lose. Like, come on now. You fools know how to do math. Bro, it don't matter where you go on this world, you're going to see a homie. Straight up. You can go right here, you're going to see nothing but homies. You could go to my hood, and you're going to see half homies, half them. You could go up north, you're going to still see half homies, half us. No matter where you go, we're there. Go to Japan right now, you're going to see a homie. And I ain't lying. Am I lying? You know you be seeing those fools go viral. I be seeing it. They brought up there.
They be popping on this.
There's homies in Japan. Do you think there's northerners?
What it do, YouTube? Is Coffee tapping back in, man. And so Tommy Gunz is this dude's name, man. Tap in and let me know if y'all know about Tommy Gunz, if you mess with his music, if you're aware of who he is, or you're just coming to see him in the blogosphere. I did a vid a little while back. Milk was roasting dude because there was this clip that was going viral, you know, the good old YouTube prison sector, even though it doesn't exist in the same capacity that it did before a couple years back when everything was going up. 1090 Jake and Pino and Milk, and they were all going in on the Wicked Mouse theme. Well, Pino wasn't at first, but then he was, and then people was like, yo, you knew. And he was like, nah, I didn't know. And it was a whole thing, man. Comment if y'all remember that whole place in the timeline a couple years back. It was crazy, man. But I personally had never heard of this dude before, right? It was a clip going out. It was like, I think it was captioned, Black Southsider rapper gets put up on game in the county or something like that. And Milk was like reacting. I got a video on it. Maybe I'll find a link, throw it below. But Milk captioned it something, I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it right in front of me at the moment, but Milk was like, yo, Black Southsider Sureño was getting extorted or something like that, because he had told this story about how when he was in the county, someone put him up on game that you're supposed to lace up no matter what. You got to stay laced up at all times, which I'm not. Anyone who rocks with me, right? Y'all know I'm not this dude that tries to put this narrative out there like I did a gang of time or I've been to prison or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I always let everyone know Coffee's tapping in from Squaresville. You know what I'm saying? Population Coffee, and I'm comfortable doing me. You know what I mean? I ain't out here trying to act like a tough guy, but I swear to God, I thought that was like basic day one knowledge. You know what I'm saying? That you stay laced up. When I was in the detention center as a youth, motherfuckers were sleeping laced up. You know what I mean? Because it could be crucial like that, where you could just be catching some Z's, and next thing you know, you're getting pieced up in your sleep. Like it was bad. It was serious. It was crucial at all times. And the fact that this dude was talking about, yo, the homie, this fool, he told me, like, no, bro, you gotta wear your, you gotta be laced up or whatever. And then he proceeded to talk about how he gave dude his donuts or donut sticks or whatever the fuck it was, because dude was so real and looked out. And I don't know, you know what I mean? Milk's interpretation of it all was that dude was getting friendly extorted, or he got put under pressure or something like that. You know, not like someone was putting him up on game, taking him under the wing, and he was like, yo, you want my donut? Like, he was under pressure, shook daddy, pause, and, you know, was giving up his donuts and was like marked out. That was more or less what I took from it. And other people were commenting like Milk was catching a bunch of flack in the comments, but for real, I thought that was like day one game. But at the end of the day, I think that you know, particular clip was getting re-rocked and reacted to all over the blogosphere, which at the end of the day, you know, the way this ish works, if you get that momentum good or bad. You know what I mean? Like they say, all publicity is good publicity. It goes like that in the blogosphere as well. You know what I mean? There's individuals out there that have had nothing but bad publicity, and they transition it over into something that they got going, and next thing you know, they're winning out here. You know what I mean? There are some cats are in that same situation, but they get all in their feelings about it and get mad. And you know what I mean? When it's like, yo, don't get mad, get focused. So what I'm getting at is with that clip seemingly doing some numbers, and again, I don't know much about this dude, his music, if it's any good, if he's got any motion or momentum behind what he's pushing musically or whatever. Now there's this clip here which taps in regards to gangs, so that's for show to get some traction behind it, I'm sure. And then, you know, I kind of pointed this out in my previous video, that something about Milk 7's story that I believe caught a lot of people's attention was the fact that he is a white dude banging a black gang. You know what I mean? Grew up in a black neighborhood, was adopted into a black family. It was a different type of story, not circumstances you come across all the time. You know what I mean? His story was a bit different, and then you add it up with the reactions where he's going in on individuals and all that. It you know, came together for a platform that grew exponentially many times over. And with this Tommy Gunz dude, his story is not the same but similar in a sense, in regards to the fact that he you know, many people were reacting to the original clip, you know, where he was being referenced as a black Southsider, were saying, yo, this dude looks like a black dude, but when I hear him talk, like I hear an essay or whatever, or something like that along those lines, or a Mexican dude. Like people were saying ish like that, like, yo, close your eyes when you hear this clip, which that kind of sounds like pause, right? You know what I mean? Close your eyes and hit pause. You know what I'm saying? Did y'all just see that paused out, breaking the zestometer, the zestometer ish that Poetic Flacco said? I think this man done slipped up in No Jumper, clipped up a confession and showed his real true rainbow colors, man. I'll link that below if y'all want to go check that out, or it's just like the previous video. You know what I mean? Make sure to hit the buttons for me, y'all, and join the discussion, because they got me deader than disco up in this bitch. But back to what I was saying is, dude's story was kind of different in that sense. You know what I mean? And then add into it the fact that it's in regards to jail or prison and gang culture, which are our two big topics in the blogosphere. And you know what I mean? You got possibly the recipe for a dude to go viral or whatever. But again, I don't know nothing about his music. Come to think of it, has there been not too many big Southsider artists, right? There was that Mr. Capone, Mr. Criminal, I think his name was. Then you had that one SPM dude who was an SO, ex-offender, caught up in some real nasty-ish. But surprisingly, there's still a lot of people that believe that he got set up, or that story was a real, or you know, he was lied on or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? But comment if y'all were a fan of dude, if what you think about it all. And you know, if he didn't get bagged up and hit with that bid, do you think that things would have been a lot different in the rap game, being that right, wasn't he a Southsider, or South Park Mexican, whatever, you know, just for a Mexican artist, would it have changed the game up on a mainstream level? Was the mainstream ready for SPM? You know, would it have changed things up a bit? Comment and let me know, because if I'm not mistaken, I feel like he had major traction with the labels, like he was getting a major deal or whatever, you know what I mean? But then that wild, disturbing news came out and no one wanted to fuck with this guy. But again, the support that he still gets is a bit shocking to me. Tap in, let's discuss it all. Subscribe, comment, hit the buttons. Again, if you're new, this is Coffee. We talk it up on all different topics over here. Some people say that's your problem, Coffee. You talk about too many damn things, but it is what it is. But back to what we're talking about with this clip, is that actual factual when it comes to gangs and stuff like that? Do the Southsiders, as far as like numbers and strength and stuff like that, do they run LA? You heard them talking about other countries and stuff like that as well. I never, is that for real too, that there's Southsiders globally? I swear one time, man, I threw a documentary on. It was about some kind of Crip documentary, and yo, there were some Euro Crips on there over in Europe. I'm not even joking. There was like German Crips and all this, and they had crazy charges. I was like, yo, is this for real? Like, has gang culture really went globally, worldwide like that? Hell, I seen when the Game was on tour once. I just seen two on the timeline. The Game's over there in the Middle East. He just falling out with Kanye West, and I don't think that's no gimmick-ish. I think that's for real. Right in the midst of the documentary, 3 supposed to be dropping, and Game supposed to be doing Ye supposed to be doing the executive production on the project, and I don't know. Here he is, all flucked up in the Game. The way the Game's career is when it's just been preposterous and ludicrous at times for someone to have such a momentous debut on the mainstream, and for things to just go the way that they've went, and for him to have burned so many bridges. You talk about ludicrous. I mean, that's just something else. But I've seen some footage of Game before, you know what I mean, like on tour in Europe, and some dude throwing the Pyru sign up, and Game was showing him love, like dapping him up and all that. He had the Black Wall Street apparel on and everything. Like, there was some European Pyrus. It was crazy, man. But it's like wild with the Southsiders. You know, again, I don't claim to be no expert, so everyone tap in and comment. I'm just thinking out loud. From what I've seen, they seem to be, like, in some ways backed or tied in with cartels in one way or another, and that's kind of scary all in itself. You know what I'm saying? From, you know, what I've heard, they've always been said to be a very dangerous gang, as we saw with that one prison YouTuber, as I was talking in the beginning of this about back in the day, you know, that previous timeline with the YouTube prison community and such, and everything going on with that. Old boy that got killed, what was dude's name? That was a dropout, and he was saying all kinds of ish, dissing Southsiders, and Savage Studios, rest in peace, he's no longer here, and he has some weird charges. But it was crazy. That man seemed to operate with no fear. You know what I mean? Was it just stupidity? Was it arrogance? Was it ignorance? Was it him wanting to, you know, raise his clicks and views up? I don't know, but someone caught up with his ass. You know what I mean? And again, I believe they bagged someone up for that case and all that. I'm not sure if they were convicted. I really didn't follow that story like that. Tap in if you remember the outcome. But at the end of the day, just everyone, myself included, was like, this dude is crazy. Like, he's flirting with that, talking all this greasy-ish. And at one point in time, he was down with that gang. So why would he ever disrespect like that? You know what I mean? But circling back to where we were, just in general, speaking about this interview here and what dude's saying, is that actual factual? Are they the most dominant gang numbers wise, and for the pain that they put in, which I'm not glorifying none of this. We're just talking about what it is. Once again, as always, it's just about having that conversation, that coffee talk with y'all out there. So, you know, don't be shy, tap in. And what about the whole Norteños thing, the North versus the South? That is, you know, well, like, isn't it true that the Northerners' numbers are just way lower than the Southsiders? Does anyone ever think that there'll be peace between those two gangs, or they'll always remain rivals, and or what. But there you have it, man. That Tommy Gunz guy. And once again, y'all, as well, if you're up on his music, or just, you know, anything in regards to other clips you've seen about this dude, if he's a relatively new face in the blogosphere, period, or I'm just seeing him or what, like, let's chop it up about it all in the comments. Subscribe is coffee, and I'm up out of here, y'all. Peace.